Welcome back, my friends. So good to see you here again. Last time we left off with Uncle Phuong lying on a freshly made bed in his new room at Jack and Turten's farm. Clean sheets, soft pillow, a house full of love just outside the door. And yet his eyes wouldn't close. His backpack still stood in the corner like a soldier waiting for orders. This continues my own take on what I believe happens next. Remember that backpack? The one he hadn't unpacked? Well, here's what happened that first morning. Tien woke up before the sun. She always does. But that morning, she didn't go straight to the kitchen like usual. She tiptoed down the hallway to the room with the blue curtains. She pressed her ear gently against the door. Silence. Her heart sank for just a moment. Then she heard it. A soft sigh. The sound of an old man breathing slowly. He was sleeping. She smiled the kind of smile only daughters smile. But when she opened the door just a crack to peek in, she saw something that made her stop. Uncle Phuong was sleeping, but he was sleeping with one hand resting on top of that backpack, like he was holding on to it. Like even in his dreams, he wasn't sure he was allowed to stay. Here's what I find beautiful about this. Tien didn't wake him up. She didn't lecture him. She just closed the door softly and walked away, because she understood something most of us forget. An old man who has been alone for years doesn't learn to belong in one night. He learns it slowly, through breakfast, through laughter, through being needed, through 1,000 small moments that say, "You are home." So Tien went to the kitchen and started cooking. Not just any breakfast. The breakfast Uncle Phuong loved most. Sticky rice with mung beans, hot tea with ginger, 3 slices of papaya from the garden. She set 3 bowls at the table, 3 pairs of chopsticks, 3 cups, not 2. Not the couple plus a guest. 3. Equal, like family. When Jack came down from upstairs, he saw the table and his eyes got soft. He didn't say anything. He just kissed his wife on the top of her head and started pouring tea into the 3rd cup. That's when Uncle Phuong appeared in the doorway. He stood there in a clean shirt Tien had laid out for him the night before. His hair combed, his face washed, but his hands were trembling just a little, because for years he had eaten alone. And now there were 3 steaming bowls waiting for him. "Father," Tien said brightly, "sit down. The rice will get cold." Uncle Phuong opened his mouth to say something polite, something like, "Oh, I'm not hungry," or "Don't trouble yourself." But Jack was already pulling out the chair for him. "Sit, Uncle. Tien made your favorite." So he sat, and here's what surprised me about that moment. Uncle Phuong picked up his chopsticks. He took one bite of the sticky rice, and his eyes welled up. He didn't cry. He just blinked very fast and stared down at his bowl, the way men of his generation do when they don't know how to hold something so beautiful. "It tastes like your mother used to make," he whispered to Tien. She smiled. "Father, that's because she taught me." But here's the thing about healing. It doesn't happen in one breakfast. It doesn't happen in one hug. It happens in the small, stubborn rituals that say, "Tomorrow, I'll be here again, and the day after that, and the day after that." And Jack and Tien were just getting started. After breakfast, Jack stood up and clapped his hands. "Father, I need your help today. The chickens, the new ones I bought last week. I don't know how to build a proper coop. Will you show me?" Uncle Phuong looked up, surprised. "You want my help?" "Of course, Father. You've raised chickens your whole life. I'm a city boy. I'll mess it up." And just like that, the morning shifted. Because Jack hadn't asked Uncle Phuong to receive. He'd asked him to give, to teach, to matter. That's what proud old men need most. The way Uncle Phuong's face changed in that moment was something I'll never forget. His shoulders straightened, his chin lifted just a little. He picked up his cup of tea and finished it in one long sip, the way working men do before they head out to a job they love. "All right, Jack," he said. "Get me the hammer, and we'll need wire mesh, and some bamboo. Have you got bamboo?" "I've got bamboo, Father." "Then let's go." Tien watched them walk out into the yard together, her husband and her father, talking about nails and roofs and how to keep the chickens dry when the rain came. She stood at the kitchen window with a dishcloth in her hand and tears in her eyes that nobody else got to see. That's the kind of crying daughters do when they finally get their fathers back. The chicken coop took them 3 days to build. 3 full days. And during those 3 days, something miraculous happened. Uncle Phuong started forgetting about the backpack. The first morning, he checked on it before breakfast. The second morning, he checked it after breakfast. By the third morning, he didn't check it at all. He just walked straight from his bedroom to the kitchen, drank his tea, and went out to find Jack. Because Jack always needed help with something. The fence, the water pump, the rose bushes Tien wanted near the front gate. Jack was clever like that. He didn't make up fake jobs. He just stopped pretending he could do everything alone. And every time Uncle Phuong fixed something, he stood a little taller. What I love about this moment is how Jack and Tien figured out something so many families miss. Older parents don't want to be served. They want to serve. They don't want pity. They want purpose. When you give an aging father a chicken coop to build, you're not asking for free labor. You're handing him back his dignity. And that, my friends, is the most loving thing a son-in-law can do. But the real turning point came on day 4. It was raining that morning. Soft, steady rain. The kind that taps on the tin roof like fingers drumming a lullaby. Tien was kneading dough in the kitchen. Jack was at the company for a quick meeting, and Uncle Phuong was sitting in the living room reading the newspaper. That's when Tien came in carrying a small cardboard box. She set it down on the coffee table in front of him. "Father," she said quietly, "I went into your old room yesterday. I cleaned out your backpack." Uncle Phuong's hand froze on the newspaper. "I didn't throw anything away," she said quickly. "I washed everything, folded everything, put it in the dresser in your room, the good shirts on the top shelf, the pants in the drawer, your toothbrush in the bathroom, your slippers under the bed." She opened the box. Inside was the empty backpack, folded neatly. "I thought maybe," she said, her voice trembling just a little, "you could use this for something else now, like when we go to the market together, or when we visit relatives. A backpack for happy trips, not for running away." Uncle Phuong stared at the empty backpack for a long time. Then he reached out and took Tien's hand. His old, weathered hand wrapped around her younger one. He squeezed it gently. And he said something that nearly knocked the breath out of her. "Con Guy," he whispered. "Cam on Con. My daughter. Thank you, my daughter." It was the first time he had ever called her Con Guy out loud. Tien dropped to her knees beside his chair and put her head on his lap. She didn't say anything. She just stayed there, the way little girls used to when their fathers came home from work. And Uncle Phuong placed his hand on her hair, slowly, gently, like he had been practicing this exact motion in his dreams for years and was finally allowed to do it in real life. But here's the thing. As beautiful as that moment was, Uncle Phuong still had one secret left. One small heaviness he hadn't shared yet. And it was about to come out in the most unexpected way. The next afternoon, Jack came home from the company earlier than usual. He had something in his hand, a small envelope. He walked into the living room where Uncle Phuong was sitting with Tien, helping her sort through old photographs. "Father," Jack said, "I need to talk to you about something." Uncle Phuong looked up. His face stayed calm, but his eyes flickered with the old worry, the look of a man who's been waiting his whole life for bad news. "What is it, Jack?" Jack sat down across from him. He set the envelope on the table. "Father, last week when we were at the cafe, you gave me your phone number, and you mentioned that you'd handled some paperwork about land back in your hometown. I went to check on that paperwork today." Uncle Phuong's shoulders tensed. "Father," Jack said softly, "there's a piece of land in your hometown that still has your name on it. A small piece, maybe 200 square meters. It was your parents' land, and nobody has done anything with it for years. The local committee thought you'd forgotten about it." Uncle Phuong looked down at his hands. "I didn't forget. I just couldn't go back. After everything happened with my daughter's mother passing, I couldn't bear to see that land. So I left it." Jack nodded slowly. "I understand, Father. But here's the thing. Tien and I, we want to help you do something with it. Not to sell it. Not to take it from you. We want to help you build a small memorial there. For your wife, for your parents. A little garden, a bench, a place where you can visit them properly whenever you want." Uncle Phuong stared at Jack. His mouth opened. Nothing came out. Tien reached over and held her father's hand. "Father, you've spent so many years giving to everyone else, the farm, the money, your time. Let us give you this. Let us help you bring me home in your heart." The room went very quiet. Outside, the rain had stopped. A bird was singing on the bamboo fence. The lotus flowers in the new pond were just beginning to open their first pink buds. Uncle Phuong closed his eyes, and the tears that he had held back for years, the ones he hadn't cried even at his wife's funeral because he was too busy being strong for everyone else, those tears finally fell. Quiet, steady, like the rain had been. Jack and Tien didn't move. They just sat with him, holding his hands, one on each side. When Uncle Phuong opened his eyes again, he looked at them both. "You two," he said, his voice cracking. "You two are the best thing that ever happened to me. I don't know how I got so lucky." "You got lucky because you were kind first," Tien said. "Kindness comes back, Father. Always." That evening, the three of them sat on the front porch watching the sunset turn the sky pink and orange. Uncle Phuong was holding a cup of warm tea. Tien was leaning against Jack's shoulder, and the new chicken coop, the one they had built together, stood proud in the yard with the chickens clucking softly inside. "Next week," Uncle Phuong said quietly, "next week, will you both come with me? To my hometown? To visit her grave?" "Yes, Father," Jack said. "We'll all go together." This is the part that fills my heart up. Because true family isn't built on bloodlines. It's built on showing up. Jack and Tien didn't just give Uncle Phuong a room. They gave him back the parts of himself he thought he'd lost forever. His role as a father, his memory of his wife, his right to be loved out loud. And what I believe comes next will be the most beautiful moment of all, my friends. Because the trip to Uncle Phuong's hometown is just days away. And waiting there, at that small piece of land, is something Jack and Tien have been quietly preparing. A surprise that will make Uncle Phuong understand, once and for all, that he is not just welcome in their family. He is the heart of it. Stay close. The most tender chapter is yet to come.